Hey everyone, how's it going? So I'm going to go through sort of a, hopefully, I call it a fun activity. Hopefully you would like it as well, but if not, then just enjoy, but we'll see how it goes. So what we're going to do is this. Painting the scenario. So for me, I'm going to so typically when you create a course outline or a description of a course, what you need to do is you create the course first, and then you create the course description, because think of the course description as your executive summary. Usually an executive summary is done at the end. If you didn't know that, now you do. But essentially your executive summary is a summary that happens at the end, but it goes in the beginning of a paper. Who would have thought? But I'm going to put in a description. Now this is an old course description, but it could actually help me to modify it. So I'm going to take my course description, copy and paste it in the chat here, and I'm going to paste it in and just leave it there. And what I want to do is just ask some general questions about ChatGPT. Now, what Chat's doing by default is it's sort of just restating the information. You can say, hey, you can actually prompt Chat and say, I don't want any information, but you can basically, Chat's just restating what it says. So Chat just says, this course aims to provide students with a comprehensive understanding of the role of the modern marketers in creating and maintaining a web presence. That is essentially the course. The course is web design for optimization. So the primary focus is on the website, which is a crucial tool for SEM campaigns. Students will learn how to create and analyze the main components of a website, including the use of basic to advanced construction techniques and coding languages and so on. What I want to do though is I've already written and read the outline. Now sometimes I'm not the best linguist. Now I'm getting better, but I'm not the best linguist. And what I want to do though is I want to take my course outline and ask some questions and see if I'm doing well with or if I'm doing what I should be doing. You guys will know what I mean in a second. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, based on the course outline, what logical topical content should be in each week for a 15-week course, knowing that weeks 1 and 2 are usually setup weeks where students are coming into class and might come on typing might miss weeks 1 or 2, and week 7 is a practical website midterm, and week 15 or 14/15 is when they have to submit their final website deliverable. Now, I'm setting Chat up in a way where I only have a course outline, and I'm saying high level, this is what here. And I'm saying based on this outline, what topical content should be in each week. Now, we haven't told it a progression. We haven't told it the development. We haven't told it anything of the typical structure, but I just want to see what Chat will do. And then I'll show you my actual plan for the weeks, and we'll see if it relates at all. It'll be interesting to see because, I'm going to do one thing. What topical content would be a logical and natural progression? That would be interesting. Natural progression in each week. So the reason why I'm asking this is I have a logical progression that makes sense. I've built the course, designed it, it works. But I'm wondering, just based on the course outline that I submitted, what would Chat think the course is about? And what would be the logical progression for the weeks, going from having no knowledge to actually being able to build and submit a final deliverable? Now, I haven't defined that. We only do a little bit of basic coding. We use WordPress. I could actually add all that in, but I'm going to add that in a minute. We're just going to see, and bear with me for this practical example. I want to see what Chat thinks would happen each week. So weeks 1 to 2, introduction on the presence and SEM campaigns. Okay, basic HTML and CSS, advanced HTML, introduction to WordPress, WordPress plugins and themes, practical midterm, search engine optimization, on-page SEO, off-page SEO. Week 11, circuit web storage, planning, promotion, presence, and then page functionality, design techniques, and Google Analytics and behavior. Super cool, actually. So that is, in a nutshell, Chat did a really good job. Or I did a really good job planning, and that means that the outline explains it naturally. But basically, minus SEM campaigns, I'm going to show you guys my actual outline. And we'll see this together. So I'm just going to zoom out here, condense this down. But I want to show you something. So now, obviously, it's slightly different with Chat, but we'll look at this together. So weeks 1 and 2, and all Chat has is an outline, a description of the course. And Chat does not know everything in the course. And all I asked was, what would be a logical progression to go and finally create a website and all of the content, and it talks about WordPress, I think, and everything before, but I didn't give it any of this content. So this is really interesting, which makes me relatively happy. So basically, Chat said weeks 1 to 2 are web presence, which is pretty much what we talk about weeks 1 and 2 and the purpose. And basically weeks 3 and 4 is HTML, which is pretty much what we cover weeks 1 and 2 with a little bit of development there. Introduction to WordPress, week 5, which is this. Basically, we talk about WordPress week 4, 5. Then we also go into WordPress themes and plugins, which is basically week 6, which is where basically midterm practice and prep. And then week 7's practical website, which is obviously we told it that. And then we've got week 8, which is website strategies, which is pretty much SEO. Which is amazing, and also on-page SEO, which is working with optimizing the user experience. And so we blend weeks 8, 9, 10 sort of together. Off-page SEO is more of technical and sort of the user experience to a degree. And then we've got weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, which are more project-based in the class. But basically it's saying server communication, website planning, promotion, and page functionality. I'm not doing those per se. We do talk about those things throughout the term, but basically I leave those weeks as mainly development weeks where we work, and I talk about a lot of these specific functions actually as we build along. And that's really interesting. And obviously the final website deliverable is due week 15. And that is really, and I hope you understand me not just focusing on this, but like all Chat has that I've given it is a written description. And I gave it a bit of direction saying, hey, so based on the course outline, or the course, the description, what topical content would be a logical and natural progression for each week for a 15-week course, knowing that weeks 1 and 2 are usually setup weeks where students are coming into class and might miss weeks 1 or 2, and week 7 is a practical website midterm, and weeks 14, 15 is when they submit their project. That's all I gave it. I didn't give it anything. And the only information it had was this outline, a description about the course. And what makes me happy, what I'm trying to glean and give you is that it's a good way to double check, am I in a logical progression? So why would I take Chat's word for it or Chat's information for it? So for me, I am an expert in this. I know what I'm doing. I understand the content. You may not be a web person, and that's fine, but you know your content and you know what should or could be a logical progression. For me, it's a good check. Is what I'm doing making sense based off what I think for the user who doesn't know anything? So my students go in knowing nothing and they leave being able to build a website. And all I do was put in the basic information in the outline, and that means that my outline hopefully is written well enough, that it explains enough and is showing what users will be doing, hopefully, or students will be doing. And basically the logical progression for what could happen makes sense for what Chat suggested, which is actually very much in line with what I do in the real world for my actual class. Now, what if they were completely different? What if what Chat suggested was very different than what I had logically planned? The first thing I would say is, well, is my class running well? Are there problems? Should it be going differently? Do I have any student problems where they're not getting it? And that might be that maybe my progression is incorrect, or is my progression logical and I've been doing this and then Chat's just completely out to lunch and doesn't really understand it. That's one thing, sort of a check and balance. Two is maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something I didn't think of. And basically, if I see here weeks 8, 9, 10, week 11 those are all things we do talk about, but it could actually give me insight as to, hey, what structure could I maybe add in these weeks if I wanted a bit of content that would be logical for this course. And then obviously we can tie this back into our current course learning objectives and how it all works. At the end of the day, what can we glean from this? What are we looking at? What is our summative action or point? ChatGPT is a reflection tool, a summary tool, a way to get us insight that would hopefully give us direction or confidence we're moving in the right direction, or maybe a different way to think of something. But hopefully the proof is in the pudding here, showing you my course outline that Chat did not see and did not know. And all I did was I gave it an actual information, I gave it the description of the course. And based off that description and based off the goal of guiding students from week 1 to 15, Chat said this is a logical progression, and that's essentially what my course is doing. So that makes me a little check. I feel pretty good about that because I know it works, and Chat's just saying here are different ways to think of it, and this is what it would recommend. And I'm actually probably going to glean a couple things from this and add them into content for the future. So hopefully that helped you out and give you some insight. I just want to do a ton of videos just to show you ways we can think through this. And they don't take long. They just take some intuitive and critical thinking. They don't take a lot of time to work. But hopefully I'll dive into some fresh and brand new content and maybe even create a whole course, start to finish, with ChatGPT, something that at least gives us structure we can then modify, play with, and give us some insight and direction. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've learned a couple new things and are inspired by this content and not fearful, but know that we're all in this together, we're in the weeds, and know that you're not alone. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.